right, let's get into some quick questions from listeners. Really quick. First question. Can Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic together win a championship? Fascinating question. No, they cannot. There is big news right now on the Jalen Brunson front. It looks like Mark Cuban apparently has decided that after not extending him and not having contract discussions all offseason, he is now going and is ready to break open the coffers and keep Jalen Brunson in Dallas. $20-something million a year alongside Luka Doncic, alongside some of these other randoms that are on the team. That is huge, huge news. One, that changes the dynamic of what Dallas is and can be, and probably how you should build the roster around them. And it's also huge news if you're a New York Knicks fan, because Jalen Brunson has been highly coveted to go to the Knicks. I would love him on the Blazers. According to Mark Berman at the New York Post, one league source who has spoken to Cuban during the playoffs told the Post he'd be shocked if Cuban didn't keep Brunson, who averaged 28 points in the first round series versus Utah. That's absurd. That does not bode well for Leon Rose's Knicks as they search for a premier floor general. Here's a little tidbit of news. Leon Rose, the head honcho for the New York Knicks, his son, Sam, and Aaron Mintz are Jalen Brunson's agents. Leon Rose's son is Jalen Brunson's agent. Things could get very ugly. Very ugly. Last part is fascinating. And add that to the fact that Cuban apparently will not sign and trade Brunson to go elsewhere. Just remember when DeAndre Jordan and it's like we had the situation where Mark Cuban was circling his house and like knocking on his door because he just couldn't let DeAndre Jordan go. And DeAndre Jordan's like, I've changed my mind. Like, this is a Jalen Brunson situation where he's not even going to allow him to do a sign and trade. It's like, you either pay for Jalen Brunson on the free agent market or that's it. I don't care if we lose him for nothing. You just have to figure it out. Like, that's where they're at. Knicks probably then go all in on Tyus Jones. There's been some rumors about that, so we can go in on that at a future date. So the question is valid. Does Jalen Brunson and Luka, can they win a chip? I feel that both of those two together are very similar. Guards that are ball dominant, that want to get their shot off. Jalen Brunson, probably a better playmaker than Luka. Probably a better table setter than Luka. Luka's more of a pure scorer. But Jalen Brunson's like 5'11", isn't he? He's like 5'12". He's like he's not quite 6 feet, but he's not got short. He's too small. He's too small for that backcourt. And he's going to be a starting point guard with Luka. I'm not sure how that works. Can they do it? Possibly. Is it possible in this loaded West? Like, how do the Mavs beat the Pelicans with how long and rangy they are? Brunson headed for a $25 million a year payday. Would not be shocked. I'm guessing 5 years, 123. That's what I'm guessing. Woo! That's a lot of cheddar. Thank Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell and also whoever hurt Luka Doncic the end of the last game of the season where Jalen Brunson got a chance to shine. Because this man, he's going to get paid. He's going to get so paid. All right, next question. Who do you think is the breakout player, the biggest breakout player of this year's NBA playoffs? That's a good question. There's a lot of them. I would say Jalen Brunson for one, but the player that's like broken out to the point where we're now getting like economist.com think pieces written about him, like Heritage Foundation is like, let's dissect him, is Jordan Poole Party. First met him when he was a freshman at Michigan when they went to the Final Four. Great kid. Always is going to be, as Patsis would say, great kid, went to Michigan. No, so Jordan Poole was always going to be a score-first guard. He was like 6'2.5", 6'3" as a freshman. He grew another inch. He's 6'4" now. And what Golden State has done and does is identify and develop these players in a way that takes them from being like pretty good, like Draymond Green, to absolutely indispensable. And that is what happened with Jordan Poole. You have a guy, Jordan Poole, who it's like if you could steal the DNA from Steph and Clay and put them into one other sort of long, light-skinned kid. Like, just really, really good. He is the hardest worker on the team. His change of direction is crazy. His size is like Clay. His shooting ability, his handle, his footwork, his balance. Like I said, he's like this hybrid, and now he's like a killer. He is wanting to absolutely embarrass and demolish the other team in a way that you only really get in that Golden State system, where they just clown other teams. Like they beat Memphis by 30 the other night. Memphis took out their first team, and Golden State kept theirs in. That's how petty they fucking are. And where early on in the year his confidence got shook, and we talked about that, I want to say like maybe a couple of months ago, when Steph went down with his ankle injury, they basically gave the green light to Jordan Poole and said, shoot as much as you want. Do whatever you want. We're not going to pull you from the game. And as soon as that happened, it was like he took off on a rocket ship. And now I think he not only is a breakout player, but has solidified himself as a star within a team of stars. And definitely Golden State's going to have an interesting situation on their hands where they're going to have to go super deep into the luxury tax, because Jordan Poole is going to get paid like, I mean, if Jalen Brunson's getting 25, Jordan Poole's getting like 28, 29. I mean, if Tyler Hero's getting 37, then Lordy, what is Jordan Poole worth? Last question, I think. Yes. Are the refs going to steal another ring from Chris Paul? Feels like it, doesn't it? Feels like it. They just don't want Chris Paul to win one. Every time he comes close, they bring in the hatchet men. The Tony brothers, my man, what's his name? Scott Foster game. And Chris Paul now not only had one of his worst games of his playoff career, more fouls than he had points. He's now been trolled, and his family has been physically assaulted by Mavericks fans, which, like, did not see that one coming. So here's how it went down. Game 4 blowout loss to the Mavericks. Chris Paul had more fouls, like I said, than points. So let's break down these foul issues really fast. He goes to the bench with a minute 52 left in the second quarter before Monty Williams put him back in the game with 45 seconds left. Pretty dumb decision, because Chris then gets his fourth foul with 1 second left in the second quarter, trying to rebound his own miss. And now that puts Chris Paul becoming a target. Now, even Monty admitted, I probably should have kept him out of the game for that last 45 seconds, especially right before halftime. So then, like clockwork, Chris Paul commits his fifth foul in the 3rd minute of the 3rd quarter, sits the rest of the quarter. You don't think that changed things? Starts the 4th quarter, fouls out with 8:28 left in the game. Of course the Suns lose that game. Without Chris Paul for pretty much the majority of the 2nd quarter, the 3rd quarter, and the 4th quarter? Yeah! Now we got 2-2, and the Suns are in a dogfight. Not even the full story. So, apparently, towards the end of the game, Chris Paul's family harassed by some pretty shitty Mavericks fans. You can see from the video, if you look it up on Twitter or Google or whatever, apparently put hands on both his wife and his mom, causing Chris to lose his goddamn mind. He said to the fan, who I think was like 12, "I'll see you later." Like, just this very skinny high schooler, middle schooler, very douchey looking. Maybe he's college age, maybe he's not. Apparently he was escorted out of the stadium. My thought is, One, Chris Paul definitely one of the better players in the NBA in staying out of foul trouble, one of the better players in the NBA in drawing fouls from his opponents. So felt a little reffy to me. But in terms of the fan behavior, shit like this is just got to stop. We can't have that. Remember when Russell Westbrook was called names in Utah? 3 Jazz fans were tossed from hurling racist remarks towards T and Jamie Morant, John Morant's dad and mom, in last year's series. Well, we know what Utah does. That's like them. But we can't have other fan bases start piling on as well. Charles Barkley, just to kind of give a little like side road, came up with a solution to things like this. I want to kind of play it just to get your thoughts on whether you think this makes sense. I thought it was an interesting idea, I would say.
Some of the stuff these fans say, let's take them right down to center court for 5 minutes. I've always said that. Some of the crap they say to you, hey, let's give me 5 minutes to center court with them until say, you ain't gonna press no charges. Nobody gonna get it. No, ain't nobody gonna be sued civilly. Say what you just said to me right to my face right here for these 5 minutes. I'm gonna beat your ass, beat the hell out of you.
It would take you 5 minutes?
Oh no, I'm gonna take my time. I'm not gonna beat them up quickly. I'm gonna jab them a little bit. Then I'm gonna lay the haymakers on their ass.
Well, obviously,
I hear you, Foreman.
things can happen
Charles Foreman.
in a real world, in a real society.
Yeah, I mean, hit him. Hit him with this. Hit him fast, hit him slow. You put somebody, if Charles Barkley in his prime beat the shit out of a fan in center court and they had to sign like an NDA, non-sue, non-nothing, it would just take one time for a fan to get his ass completely ripped up right in front of everyone for people to be like, yeah, this shit has consequences inside the arena. We're stepping inside of some things. So, Suns now at home. They're heading home 2-2. Just like the Sixers versus the Heat, we now have a dogfight on our hands in both of these series. Here's the things that I know. Bet on the Suns at home. Chris Paul's not going to foul out again. If you're a bettor for points props, bet his points props as well. He sure as hell isn't going to have 7 turnovers, and he definitely will not have more turnovers than points.